I appreciate very much the chairman and the ranking members hosting this hearing today. Thank Senator Fisher and others for trying to lead us to a principled compromise where we're mindful of the needs to protect public health and at the same time to make sure that an industry which provides a lot of jobs in this country, and that's the ag industry, is able to be successful too and compete in the world. Delaware's not a big state. We have I go home almost every night. Went home last night, and we have 3 counties. The largest one is in southern Delaware. Sussex County is the 3rd largest county in America. And it's a little state, but the 3rd largest county in America. We raise more chickens there, I'm told, than any county in America. Last time I checked, we raised more soybean than any county in America. And I think last time I checked, we raised more lima beans than any county in America. And I think we have more 5-star beaches than any county in America. So so it's a little state, and but that's quite a county, isn't it? But we have a lot of people who live there, and we want to make sure that they have a good environment in which to live, clean air, clean water. And for many years in southern Delaware, we raise a lot of chickens on Delmarva, as Bill knows. We raise a lot of chickens on Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, and the Virginia Eastern Shore. And for years, we had these big chicken houses, and for years the farmers have taken chicken litter, chicken manure, and mixed with sawdust, which is usually on the floors of the chicken house. They mix it together, and they've used it for fertilizer and spread it on farm fields all over Delmarva and certainly all over Sussex County. In order to support raising soybeans and corn and other crops. For years and years, we were not very good environmental stewards with the way that we spread our chicken litter on our farm fields. Didn't do a good job. And we have, as Bill knows, a lot of our farm fields drain into creeks, drain into ditches, and drain into creeks, and eventually into rivers, Nanticoke River, which flows into the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay badly degraded, and we were one of the reasons why it was badly degraded. And about 20 years ago, my last term as governor, we put together a farmer-led initiative. And Nutrient Management Commission, farmer-led, includes some environmentalists, include the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. And we figured out a way to make sure that folks who were spreading chicken litter on farm fields, which chicken litter is high in phosphorus, high in nitrogen. It's good fertilizer, relatively inexpensive, and got to figure out what to do with it. And for those who starting in the late 1990s, who were going to be spreading chicken litter, they had to get a plan. They have to submit a plan and say, this is my plan, here's how I'm going to do it. Had to have their soil tested to make sure it was appropriate for receiving chicken litter, how much could go onto the farm fields and that would be safe for our public health, and to make sure that the farmers were adhering to their nutrient management plan. We've been doing that for over 15 years. And Senator Von Hollen and Senator Cardin will tell you that the quality of the water in the Chesapeake Bay is significantly improved. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Delaware's not a good neighbor for many, many years, and I think we're just a much better neighbor today. They have a neighbor up to the north, Pennsylvania, so do we. I don't think Pennsylvania's sort of gotten the, got to get them online, but Delaware's a much better neighbor today. Can we do better? Sure, we can always do better. Everything I do, everything all of us do, we can do better. But I just want to give you that for a little bit of context. I've known Bill Satterfield forever. When I was state treasurer, elected state treasurer, colleagues at the age of 29, and it's not every time you get on the radio if you're a state treasurer, and it's not the hot commodity like being a senator. And I would, every now and then I get to be invited, and was it radio station WDOV, was that the name of the station? WKEN in Dover, Delaware. And one of the folks who was on, one of the people who did is talk radio, and one of the folks who actually had some of the programming, some of the interviews, was Bill Satterfield. And he was nice enough to invite me to be on his show from time to time. And on my way driving out Route 8 to WKEN to do the interview, I would drive by, was it a Tasty Freeze? Yes, I drive by Tasty Freeze on my way. I love chocolate milkshakes. I'd stop and get a chocolate milkshake. He was a co-owner. Who was the other guy who was a co-owner with you? Yeah, Rick gave it. And I get a chocolate milkshake, and then I go, we do the interview, and he would say to me at the beginning of the interview, he'd say, how are you doing today? And I said, great. There's a Tasty Freeze on the way out here on Route 8. And I love to stop there and get a chocolate milkshake. In fact, I'm having one right now. And you guys make the best. I don't know who owns that place, but they make the best chocolate milkshakes. But anyway, from those humble beginnings, me as state treasurer, and Bill as a radio interview personality. He went on to join the Delmarva poultry industry in 1986, was named their executive director in 1993, and he works to advance the interests of our Delmarva poultry farmers. And I said earlier, ag's a big deal in our state, and especially in the southern part of the state. I've said a million times before my colleagues that it's possible to have a clean air, it's possible to have clean water, and cleaner air, cleaner water, and good public health, and still have jobs. And there's always a balance, and sometimes it's not easy to find that balance, but we think we're working toward that, and still we'll continue to do this. But I said at our full committee hearing on ag issues last month, I acknowledge that sometimes environmental requirements can be complex. They can be confusing to those who farm, especially when those rules apply suddenly to them. And that's what happened in April of 2017 when the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals invalidated an EPA rule from 2008. And that rule had exempted all farms in the nation, as we've heard today, from reporting requirements for hazardous air emissions from animal waste under CERCLA. That rule also exempted small and medium-sized farms from reporting under the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, which we know as EPCA, but left in place reporting requirements for large farms. With the Farm Act, the legislation that we're holding this hearing on today, we are helping to provide certainty to farmers by legislatively exempting all farms under CERCLA, as was done by EPA in its 2008 rule. And one thing I worked hard on this legislation with Senators Fisher and Barrasso and others, as we were developing this legislation, is to make sure the Farm Act makes no change to EPCA reporting, no change. And I think Senator Booker has mentioned this already. And I just want to thank both Senator Barrasso, I want to thank Senator Fisher, others, their staffs and others for working with my staff and me and agreeing not to amend EPCA in this bill. This is an issue that was critical for many members on our Democratic side, and we've repeatedly heard concerns from state and local officials, public health experts, and other members of our communities who want information about what is in their air. And this bill seeks to strike a careful balance, and as a result, it enjoys broad bipartisan support. My hope is that that broad support can be translated into prompt legislative action, and again, my thanks to all who played a role in crafting this compromise, which is before us today. Senator Booker and I show up most Thursdays, we'll do it later today, at a Bible study group led by our chaplain, Barry Black. And for about half an hour, it's for those 7 or 8 of us who need the most help, right? The most help. And one of the things that Chaplain Black, who's a retired Navy Admiral, former Chief of Chaplains for the Navy and Marine Corps, he always reminds us every week of the golden rule: treat other people the way we want to be treated. You love thy neighbor as thyself. And this is an effort, I think, a good faith effort, to try to make sure that we're true to that admonition. And we're not there yet, but it's like striving toward perfection. Keep striving, and hopefully someday we'll get there. Maybe we'll even get to heaven, who knows. Thank you so much.